Hey, what's going on, champs? I'm Aaron Deliosa. Welcome to an Immigrant's Life podcast, my podcast about immigrants and immigration and everything in between. Thank you for listening and downloading the show, and thank you for supporting my dad.
Welcome back, Immigrant Nation. Another week, another new episode. As always, thank you for being here wherever and whenever you are listening to this podcast. I really appreciate you and the time that you spend time with me. If you want to listen to some of the previous episode of An Immigrant's Life, it's available wherever you get your podcast, even on YouTube. So please go ahead and subscribe. And after subscribing, I'd appreciate it if you could leave a review and give it a 5-star rating, as that helps me share these incredible stories of these extraordinary individuals with more listeners. And if you want more An Immigrant's Life content, check our social media accounts. My handle is at An Immigrant's Life. You can also contact me there, or you can send me an email at animmigrantslife@yahoo.com as well. If you got something to say or you just want to have a chat, hit me up. I'd love to hear from you. And that's the biz. Now, let's talk about the episode. Yo, let me just say that this episode has the most intense story I've ever heard on this podcast. And I'm really grateful that our guest was so generous to share this story to us. That just shows you how incredible and how inspiring she is and how driven she is. And I'm pretty sure you're going to love her story. So, let's get to the point. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Today's guest is an artist and founder of ASAAT Crafts. She's a beautiful soul trying to live life one stitch at a time. Everyone, please welcome Victoria Fils-Aimé.
Hi. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. A little bit tired because it's the evening, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Excited to be doing this. How are
Thank you
you?
for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Of course, my pleasure. Thanks for contacting me.
Of course, and only cool people.
Yes, only cool people.
Yeah, like literally, like I only if I don't like you, if you reach out and I don't feel the vibe, I'm like, I'm good, Holmes.
Yeah,
You know, but I
that's
love like
good.
I don't know everything about you. You know, like your persona, your Instagram account is just out of this world. And
Thank
then
you.
you're actually before I say something else, why don't you tell the Immigrant Nation where they can reach you if you want to promote anything?
Okay. Well, for sure, check out my um crochet page. It's my business page where I post all the clothing that I custom make. Also my artistic collaborations with other like designers and artists, photographers, models. So that page is ASAAT dot craft with an S at the end. So that's CRAFTS. And I pronounce it ASAT, but it is ASAAT. It means a stitch at a time.
Mm.
And on there, there's the link to my website, to my personal page, different ways to contact me for custom orders.
I love that page, man. The things that you
Thank
make,
you.
I'm like, how did she make that? Because when I was younger, I used to do crochet. Because in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines, they will teach you everything. Like they'll
Uh-huh.
crochet, they'll teach you how to stitch clothing, whatever else, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
know a little bit, well, back then, but you make like incredible stuff.
Thank you. I don't know. Even me sometimes, like I'll make something and then someone orders it, so I have to remake it, and I'm like, I have no idea how I did this at all. So in a way, two pieces will never ever be the same because even if I'm recreating something, I'm essentially copying my work as if I didn't make it. So I'm like, how do I do this? And I end up doing something similar that looks the same, but that's not exactly, yeah. I have no idea. It kind of flows. I'm very addicted to crocheting, so
Yeah.
I just visualize it in my head. Do it, I guess.
How did you get into it?
Um, Well, there's a long version and a short version, but I'll give you the long version since we have a little bit of time.
Hmm.
Um, my mom had a knitting kit when I was a kid and we lived in Haiti.
Hmm.
And one day I wanted to learn, so I learned, I think she had a book also, and I learned how to knit a scarf. And it was like a rectangle, the most basic thing.
Hmm.
And I used to do it a lot while watching TV. My mom was like, you can't be watching TV with everything you do. Like, either you're watching TV, you're doing this. So I kind of stopped for a while. And then when I moved back here, I was dating a person who I told the story to, and they got me, well, he got me a knitting kit one
Hmm.
time. I think it was my birthday or something. That was like 2 years ago. And it was a really nice gift because it got me back into knitting. And then I moved on to crocheting and I realized I have more freedom personally to create when I crochet and when I knit.
Hmm.
Maybe it's because I understand crocheting more, or like that's how my brain works, but I can do so many more things. So I kind of stopped knitting now. I haven't knitted in probably over a year, but I still crochet.
What's the difference between the two?
Knitting is with the two long sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're using both sticks, and then there's different ways to crochet, but the most known way is like you transfer the yarn from one stick to the other,
Hmm.
and then it builds your project and length. Crocheting is with one hook. It's with a crochet hook, literally. And then there's different sizes. And you're essentially only using that hook to pass the yarn through itself and then
Hmm.
build a chain.
That's what I did. That's what I did. The
That's what you
crocheting.
did, the
I didn't do the
crocheting.
two sticks.
Okay.
I remember
I did both.
I actually enjoyed it. We used to make like super basic, like what do you call those? Those um, coasters for the
Oh,
drinks.
yes. I made coasters too. It was one of the first things that I made because it's easy to square, right?
Yeah. Hey, listen. We're making Honda Civic over here. You're making Ferrari. You know what I mean?
Well, it starts with the square. That's what I started too.
Oh, it was great. Mine was circle.
Oh,
It start with
okay.
circle and then it goes big and big. I think that's the biggest thing I've ever made. After that, we had to move on to something else.
Oh, okay. Well, um, the square is a little bit harder because you have to count, so you can add at every same number of stitches so that it increases into a square. I don't know if I'm explaining properly, but
Hey, listen, young lady, I'm not that smart, okay? So don't start math. I know I'm Asian, but not all Asian are good in math, okay? I'm one
well,
of
I'm not
those.
even good at math though, but for some reason, counting and crochet makes more sense to me. I wasn't that great at
Yeah, but no, that's not true. Because I am actually good in math, but in a different kind of math. Not
Okay.
like algebra or trigonometry, bro. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
I got things to do,
Uh,
you know? But if it's like, I don't know, like, if it's a logic math in a sense that,
mhm.
like, I don't know, dude, like statistics, I'm good at that.
Okay.
But if it's like algebra, bro, if somebody put a gun against the head of one of my
Okay.
family members, I'm like, I love you, but it's time to go.
Uh, I kind of liked algebra though. It was fun.
And you said you're not good in math.
Uh, No, it's not because I was good at it that I liked it. I just liked it because it was challenging,
Mm.
and it took focus. And it was one of the things that I sometimes enjoyed being challenged at in school because a lot of the time I was bored, didn't want to be there.
You
Let's
didn't like
not say
school?
this to the truth. Not really. I mean, I like being at school as a social butterfly. Like I had friends, I talked to people. Um, but inside the classroom, I did not enjoy it very much. Unless like I was talking to people, but I got in trouble for that a lot, for talking too much in class or sleeping too much in class or eating in class, which are just basic needs. I don't understand school.
Yeah. It's funny. One of my kids are allowed to eat in the class now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anytime they want to eat, they can eat.
I feel like it's better this way. What if I'm hungry? I literally have to wait the assigned time to have my snack.
Yeah, but because that's the old ways. They want to control you.
Yeah.
Now they have more freedom.
I never understood why I couldn't eat in class. Because if I was dirtying everywhere, but I can clean it up after, like What? What is the issue? I don't, that's good. I feel like the new ways are starting to be
Yeah,
better, I guess.
it's
Improvement.
yeah, it's getting better. You mentioned that you moved here in Montreal.
Hmm.
How old were you when you moved here?
I moved here in 2018.
18?
Yeah. So I'd say 4 years ago. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Again, math.
Yeah. October 2018. So I was 19 years old.
So you live in Haiti the whole time?
I lived in Haiti my whole childhood, like from after being born to 18 years old. I finished high school there,
But
everything.
your English is impeccable.
Really? Thank you.
Because I have Haitian friends, and they do speak English, but you're like you were born here.
I guess I was surrounded by a lot of people who spoke English. I went to a dance school where a lot of people spoke English. My parents speak English. We traveled a lot to the States. I watched TV in English. I would say they have English classes at school, but a lot of my classmates had a hard time like bettering their English within those classes. So I wouldn't credit that as much as all the other things, but for sure also took English classes at school. I had some good teachers, taught us vocabulary
Oh
that I
yeah,
forgot already. Yeah.
but I thought you don't like school.
I mean, English classes, I had that one English class that was pretty fun. Like we sang songs and joked around with the teacher. And at
Okay.
that point, I already knew how to speak English, so it wasn't much work.
So you travel a lot. So it means you're doing well in 80.
You mean when I was younger, growing up?
Like your family, they're not.
Yeah. No, we were okay for sure. My parents worked a lot, especially my mom. She works a lot. She worked really hard. She's an architect, so she for sure always did her best to make sure that we were comfortable. We didn't, I wouldn't say we traveled a lot. It was mostly like we visited family in the States. When my grandma was alive, we visited her a few times. I would say like maybe once a year, very spaced out, you know? And then we went to the Dominican Republic a few times. We'd go to resorts. That was really fun
Yeah,
and
young
really
lady,
Haitian.
there's not a lot of people in the world that can travel like that.
That's true. I was very, very lucky. Like I had a great childhood.
You mentioned you went to dance school. I saw that you're a ballerina.
Ish. It was a mo mainly a ballet dance school. And I feel like ballet is the base of everything. Once you know ballet, you can do everything else.
Yeah,
I
with the
wouldn't say,
tiptoe.
yeah, oh my God, the point shoes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm like super great at ballet. But it was definitely fun and it taught me a lot. Even right now, and the way I stand and the way I sit, the way I walk, ballet is very present. Like it teaches you
Go like
posture.
this.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful. How long did you take ballet?
Um, my mom put me in dance school, I think when I was 3, but the first dance school wasn't mainly ballet. And then I changed dance schools when I was 6, and that was um IDDLWR, that's the name of the school, Institut de Danse Lane Williams Cozier. And shout out to them for teaching me ballet. Because when I came, I wasn't super advanced at ballet. They really pushed me. I stayed till I was, I think, 17. And then I went to school too much. I couldn't do ballet anymore. I didn't
Why?
have time.
Oh.
Well, I went to a Haitian school, but I wanted to get the French high school diploma, the French baccalaureate. So at my school, that's an option, but you still have to keep doing the Haitian baccalaureate. So if I wanted to get the French diploma, I had to also get the Haitian diploma. So it was like I was going to two high schools at the same time at my school. So the year before my last, I was going, well, for 3 years I did that, my last 3 years of high school. The first year I stayed in school till 6 every evening. Um, the second year I stayed in school till 6 or 7 every evening. So from 7:45 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Saturdays, I would have school from like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then my last year of high school, I had school every day. Monday, not Sundays, but Monday to Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday it was 7 a.m. to 2. And then
oh.
sometimes it was a Christian school, a Catholic school. So sometimes we'd have church on Sundays. So imagine after your whole week and then it's Saturday and then the one day you can sleep and it's Sunday, but no, you have to put on your uniform to go to mandatory church at school, 7 a.m. on a Sunday. And then the next day is Monday.
That is a schedule and a half.
I hated it. I hated it so much. It was the worst. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I went to Catholic school too
Oh
in
God.
high school, and yo,
Um, are you Catholic now?
yeah, in paper, yes, in
Okay.
paper, I'm
All right.
Catholic.
Well, same. Like you were baptized and everything.
I have the passport, so just in case it's real, I'm going to heaven.
You're going to heaven. You flash the paper at the door.
You know what I mean? I don't know what the papers are, by the way, but I can say, oh, by the way, if you
I
check the
got it.
record, I got it. I'm complete.
Did you do like the confirmation? That's like the last step, I think, to affirm your.
Yes, but we did confirmation early. We did confirmation early.
How
Like,
old?
why are you asking me? I'm an old man. I don't remember.
Forever ago.
Like, okay, so it's baptism, right? The first one. And
Uh-huh.
then you
First
get the
communion.
first communion. And then uh, confirmation.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm lying. I think I haven't done confirmation. I probably did.
No,
I probably
maybe.
have.
Because if you were in high school, that's about the time where they do confirmation. I think at my school, it was the year before my senior year. What do you call that? Pre-senior year,
Junior.
junior year. Exactly. It
Mm.
was my junior year, I guess. And most of the class was doing confirmation,
Mm.
except a few kids, and most of them were not Catholic, and that's why they weren't doing it. So I was kind of one of the black sheeps for not doing it. Not great in a good way. He was like, why isn't she doing her confirmation? She's Catholic. She has no reason not to. But I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna do me anyway.
Yeah, I remember I heard that if you were like going to a public school, that you had to go to like Sunday school, but if to do the not confirmation, the what do you call this?
First communion.
The first communion. Thank you. The first communion. But if you go to school, to the private school, because it's a Catholic school, you don't have to do that. I'm like, yo, I like that. I don't want to do
Nah.
Sunday school.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Your teachers, were they nuns or priests?
Um, there were no priests as teachers, but some were nuns, and then most of them were um like how do I say civil people?
Yeah.
The civil, yeah. Because when I was in primary school, because I was at the same school from primary school all the way to high school. Um, in primary school, it was mostly nuns. And then in high school, there were a lot more diverse teachers. We didn't have any male teachers in primary school. We only started having them in high school. So stuff like that.
How much did you get hit by those nuns?
I didn't get hit at all, ever. I am so grateful for this, but I will not say that I've never seen a teacher hit someone. Like I remember I was in um, sixième année, which I don't know what's the equivalent here, but let's say I was, I think, 11, 12 years old. And there was this teacher who like grabbed this kid by the collar and like pulled her so hard that she like scratched her skin with her fingernail.
Oh.
And we could see visibly where her skin was lifted off. And we're like, what the fuck? How are teachers allowed to do this? There was this other teacher who had a ruler and then would like hit the kids on the hands. But she only did it to certain kids. So I guess she had like that relationship with their parents where she felt comfortable disciplining them like that. But I never really got hit at school. I don't know what my mom would have done if I got hit at school. Depends on the reason, I guess.
She would have burned the school.
I don't I don't know. Like I feel like if she felt that I deserved it, she would laugh and be like, "What the fuck? They can't do that," but still not do anything. But if she felt that it was wrong, she'd probably go down there and talk to
Definitely,
someone.
man. I guess you didn't get hit when you were young?
No, well, not at school. Did you get hit at school?
Did I get hit in school? No, actually not. I was a smart ass, but I didn't get hit. But one time a teacher pinched my ear and
Mhm.
she drew blood.
Oh,
Yeah, but I was being an asshole.
oh.
So
But
I
I
let it
got
slide.
pinched. Like they used to pinch us.
On the
I
side,
guess,
under your thighs,
yeah,
like
like no, on
or
your
your arm.
arms or
Okay.
like mostly on the arms. I only remember being pinched on the arm.
Yeah, I never got hit, but yeah, growing up, the kids they got hit, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I used to have a teacher. She was a national baseball player champion,
Mm-hmm.
and she was hitting kids, man. She was hitting my
Oh
classmate,
my
dude.
God.
She will make them bend over and just like wow,
Oh,
wow.
stop.
I'm not
Nobody ever said
joking.
anything. I can't.
I think this kid, one of the kids went to their parents and said, "Yo, I got hit." So I think they have a conversation. But I know for a fact in my head, like this is not right. And if I get hit, I know I'm calling my dad,
Yeah,
and someone's gonna die.
yeah.
It's not gonna be my dad for sure.
Oh my God.
You know what I
Did
mean?
they wash out your mouth with soap? That
No, you?
one time. No, not me ever, but I've seen it one time. I was like in first grade, and there was this kid, I don't know, I don't remember why, but it scared everybody else because they literally took her to like a little um a canal. How do you say this?
Yeah, canal.
Yeah, like a little canal where like the water irrigation was happening in the back of the classrooms, and then they bent her over and like washed her mouth with a
No.
toothpaste and soap. I was like, and the way the school is, like it was big open doors, big windows, which I love, big open spaces. And so you can see outside. So like I remember like we were just in a class and everybody was like trying to see. Some kids were trying to stand up so they can't see through the window. And then the teacher's like, everybody sit down. And we were terrified. But it wasn't the teacher from our class, it was from the other class. So because the same grades are divided in two classrooms because we were so many kids. So it was the other classroom's teacher. So I was like, thank God, she's not my teacher.
No, no. Growing up, we got hit. Oh, I didn't get hit like in school, but yeah, some kid got hit, man. It was bad. Then till they changed it, they outlawed kids being hit. It became illegal. You know.
Oh,
Yeah. So
wow.
now it's illegal to hit kids. I mean, it still
That's
happens.
good.
It still
Yeah.
happens, but
But at least it's a step towards making it better.
yeah.
I don't even think it's illegal in Haiti, to be honest. It's very cultural.
No, that's our culture too. It's just now we're
Mm.
becoming, like you said, like one step toward an
Yeah,
advancement. I don't know what they call this.
I don't know, but we're becoming aware at least that it's an issue, so that's a step forward.
Yeah. You said you moved to Montreal when you were 19. Why did you move when you're 19? You're good there. You're fine. You're set.
Well, there was not really like any future for me at the moment, like in Haiti. I long term, I thought that I would go back, but right after high school, like the next step, I guess, was looking for college or, well, I was looking to go to college, but as a person, like people want to either get a job or like do something. So it's not rare, but most people who can afford to leave the country will after high school to like go to college in the States, or I know some people went to Europe, some people came here. Some people didn't go to college but still left the country and like went to get a job, work elsewhere for like better opportunities. So I left to come here to college. I went to University of Montreal in winter 2019.
Winter.
Yeah, that was
How
my
was
first
that?
semester. Oh my God, I was so depressed my first winter. I had classes at 8:30 a.m. So I would leave my house and it's dark. Go to
Mm-hmm.
class, spend a whole day at school because after class I stayed at the library to study. And then when I go home, it's dark. I would literally never see the sun. And even if I was outside during the day, it was gray all the time. I don't know if it's like a question of perspective or if it's a fact, but I feel like that winter was the worst winter ever. Like the winters now are so much better. There's more sun, or maybe I'm not depressed anymore, but it was awful. I
Yeah.
liked seeing the snow for like the first 5 minutes,
Hmm.
but
Did you
I
taste
was
it?
so yes, I tasted some very bad snow. Like I used to live with my brother. Behind my brother's apartment,
Mm.
there was this big pile of snow, and my dumb ass was like, I want to taste the snow, and it tasted
You
so bad.
scoop it?
Yes,
Yo,
I
girl,
did.
come on. You don't do that, bro.
I didn't know. It was so white, and it was like a giant pile. So I was like, this is the top snow. It should be clean. It was
No.
so bad.
Okay, I tasted the snow, but when it was falling from the
I did that
sky.
too, I like opened my mouth and
Yeah.
stood there forever, like, ah.
You're funny, man. So you had family when you moved here?
Yes, my
Mm.
brother lived here, um, with his wife. Who else? I think that's it. I had friends though.
Mm.
Well, there was also my dad's aunt, and then I had a few friends who already lived here, like who moved here from Haiti. So I
Mm.
knew people.
Okay.
I had like four
You moved
friends.
here 2019, right?
Yep.
That's pandemic.
2018, October
Oh,
2018.
oh, and then pandemic happened.
And then pandemic. So I didn't even get to like know Montreal really well
Mm.
before the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, I didn't even know what to do. But
Well,
I feel like I got to know Montreal after the pandemic. Like now I'm getting to finally enjoy it because before I was depressed and then I wasn't depressed, but it was the pandemic. And then now it's like I get to enjoy Montreal. I get to be outside.
yeah. It's like the butterflies on your wall behind you.
Exactly. Which is funny because 2021 was definitely, I would say, like the end of my caterpillar years, like the
Mm.
beginning of my transformation. And that's the year where everything started opening and I could go outside also. I don't know if one led to the other, but
I'm sure it did.
yeah.
Do you think going outside was the key for you to get rid of the depression, or do you really suffer from once in a while bouts of depression?
No, no, I already like suffer from depression. I went to a psychiatrist one time and he diagnosed me for one time. It wasn't one time, but he diagnosed me with major chronic depression.
Hmm.
But so I have like depressive episodes for sure, like hard moments. I just always know kind of that it's temporary and that it's gonna
Hmm.
get better. So sometimes I just let myself be depressed for a minute and I just soak it in and wait for it to pass. But sometimes I'm like, I have to stop myself because I get in the mood where I realize that I don't want to get out of bed. And if I don't get out of bed, I'm never gonna leave my bed for like 2 days. So I
Hmm.
push myself. Depends on the episode, but
I like that.
it's definitely a recurring thing. Being outside helps though. The sun helps a lot.
Yeah, 100%. When you were younger, when you were living in Haiti, did you feel that you had it, or you just noticed it when you moved to Montreal?
No, I just didn't know I was depressed. That's chronic depression. That's what the psychiatrist explained to me that.
Hmm.
That's chronic depression. Like you don't even realize that you're depressed. It became like a normal part of my state for me. So I was just living life thinking this is the normal way to feel, you know?
Hmm.
So I was definitely depressed. And now looking back, a lot of my behavior, a lot of the things I was feeling, a lot of moments that I was like at my lowest makes sense now looking back. I'm like, I was depressed. I had no clue, but I guess I realized when I became more self-aware of myself
Hmm.
in 2020.
Hmm.
I like lived a really traumatic event when I went to visit my family in Haiti. We kind of
Hmm.
got attacked. It's a long story, but that's when I went to see the psychiatrist for the PTSD.
Hmm.
And it brought me to self-awareness. Also a lot of meditation, like talking to myself a lot,
Hmm.
closing in on myself, made
Yep.
me realize a lot of things.
Do you want to talk about the attack?
Sure. Long story short, um, I went to visit my family in December 2020 because I already lived here. It was like the end of the semester. I was so excited to vacation, but I was doing online school. So I go to Haiti and I still had exams. So my first night of vacation, but not really because I was still doing exams, finishing papers. So the first night that I was free, I was so exhausted, but it was my best friend Cecily's birthday. So I said, I'm gonna go out for my girl still. So I went out to a restaurant for her birthday, whatever. We get home, it's super early, 10 p.m., and I usually just walk into my house with my keys. But because it's been so unsafe in Haiti, there's been a lot of kidnapping. My mom had added like another lock to the front door. And that's not a lock that has a key. It's like one of those sliding locks. So you have to be on the other side of the door to open.
Yeah.
So my key wasn't working. So I had to call her to come open the door for me. So she comes, opens the door for me. We get inside. We're having a little ritual of chit-chatting in the kitchen. And then I go, I'm so tired, I'm gonna go to sleep. So as I'm walking through my living room to go to my room to sleep, I see like all these shadows walking towards me. And it was four men with guns, like who were inside the house.
Whoa.
Because the living room was in the dark, but the kitchen had light. So that's how I could see the shadows, but I didn't know who was. And yeah, like they broke into our house, like pushed us down, pointed guns at us. They were here to kidnap my mom, honestly. So um they tried to leave. We screamed obviously, but they were well the person who was pointing their gun at me was really calm. He was like, "Don't scream." I tried to take my phone. I don't even know why, because we're in Haiti. There's no 911 number. I don't know the number for the police. And
It's
if I call the police,
XXX.
they're not gonna come. Like they'll be here tomorrow morning. So I had no idea why I was even trying to take my phone. Plus, remember, I don't live in Haiti. So this is a phone that doesn't even have a working SIM card. I don't know what I was doing, but I
You're in
still tried to
panic.
grab the phone. Yeah. And he was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Super calm, super weird. So then they were trying to leave with us. So two guys take my mom. So they were six actually, because two guys take my mom and leave with her. The two first guys left, I guess, to go get the car or something. And then two guys were holding me to leave with me, one guy in front, one guy in the back. And because my dad heard a scream, he shot in the air, thinking it would scare off whatever was going on in the house, right?
Hmm.
But he didn't know who it was, that they have guns. So they dragged me in the direction of where the gunshot came from, which is my parents' bedroom, and they were like shooting at my dad. So there
Ooh.
was like the guy in front of me shooting at my dad, the guy next to me pointing the gun at me. And when he removed his gun, I there was a door behind me, and I just escaped to the door behind. He was holding me by my handbag, and I just let go of the handbag and got into the room behind me. He was like, "Come here, come outside, let's go." Obviously, I didn't go outside. And they ended up leaving. So I went to check on my sister. I didn't check on my dad because I heard him scream, and I was like, if he's laying down on the floor, I'm not gonna be able to do anything, and I have to check on my sister. So I just went to check on my sister, and next thing you know, my dad is standing up, covered in blood everywhere. His lips were like falling apart, holding gun, and he was like, "Where's your mom? Where did they go?" Running everywhere in the house looking for her, leaving trail of blood everywhere. And I was like, she's not here. They left with her. You need to go to the hospital. This is like the condensed version because there's so many details to the story that it would take forever. But
Hmm.
essentially, I like take him to the hospital, and my mom, when she got taken into the car, convinced the people that they had the wrong person because they had seen a picture of her, but they weren't sure that it was her in that moment because they didn't have the picture with them. So
Hmm.
they were debating between themselves, is it her? And she was like, it's not me. I'm the cleaning lady of the house. Like, you got the wrong person. That's why I was in the kitchen. Stuff like that. Like, she made up a whole story. They asked her a lot of questions, and she was really smart in that moment of panic to like make up all these lies. And there was too much heat on them. Like my dad shooting, people in the streets seeing them take my mom into the car and shooting at them, stuff like that. So they ended up letting her go not too far from my house.
Wow.
And she ran to a friend's house. So I didn't know this at the time. I was at the hospital with my dad, and then I was calling everyone because I didn't know what to do. So I
Mm.
called those family friends and I was like, guys, my mom just got kidnapped. And they were like, no, she's at her house. She's okay. And it
Holy
was like
shit.
biggest relief. And everyone was okay. My dad took 5 bullets, two in his legs, two in his arms, and one on his lip.
Oh,
But he got surgery and he was okay. He didn't even lose any teeth and his lip was really busted open. So I'm really grateful. Everything ended okay. Just ended with us leaving Haiti.
I
Well,
love
my
that how
family
you
leaving
said, "Oh, we got attacked." Me, I was like, "Oh, maybe walking down the
Haiti.
street, they took the money." No, there's kidnapping and shooting. What the fuck?
Sorry, I don't think I set the expectations properly for this
I
story.
was like, "What is going on right now?"
Oh my God.
Oh man! By the way, props to mom. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
right? She's
To
amazing.
to just say like, "Oh, by the way, I'm a cleaning lady," and these
Yeah.
idiots, just like, "Oh yeah, maybe let
Yeah.
her go." Oh my
Yeah, she
god!
was extremely smart in that moment. She thought super fast too.
I'd be
I don't
like,
know.
"No, just shoot me in the head. I'm good."
No, just shoot me now. Don't take me. Just leave me here on the sidewalk.
Holy crap! So she came home. You guys finally reconvened.
Yeah, we didn't go home because it wasn't safe. We just went to friend's house.
Hmm.
But yeah, we reconvened. We were all really very traumatized. It was a difficult time for my family. And then a week later, went to Florida. Actually, we had to go back to the house because we had to do a deposition with the cops. So we had to leave all the blood there for like, I don't remember how long. To me, it felt like days of dry blood in the house, but I don't think it was. That's just how it felt to me. Um, we had to leave everything for evidence, and then the cops had to come, and it was a whole thing. It was a lot. And then a week later, we went to Miami, and my family moved there. Like my sister, my mom, and my dad moved there. I was already living in Montreal. So my sister finished her last year of high school in Miami,
Hmm.
and I stayed with them for I think 2 weeks in Miami, a week or two, and then I had to go back to Montreal because I have work and school and stuff.
Hmm.
So it was really hard to leave after that and come back here.
Did they catch the guys?
No,
Yeah. I
I
know.
don't
I know
even
they
think
didn't.
they're trying to catch the guys. Let me tell you, where they broke in, there was a literal handprint because there was a table full of dust in a room that we never go to. They put their hand on the thing. I could see the handprint. Nobody was gonna run it for evidence, DNA, fingerprints. They wouldn't even find anything. No,
They're busy.
no. Yeah, they're busy being
How's
corrupt.
mom and dad?
They're both okay. They're very, very, very strong,
Hmm.
honestly. They're like my models of strength, both like physically and emotionally very strong. My mom is okay. Um, she's moving forward, you know. It was really traumatizing and hard, but she's okay, I think. My dad also, he healed physically very fast, to be honest. Like when I was in Miami in the 2 weeks after the attack, he was jumping. He was like, look at my legs, they work now. And I was like, you need to sit down.
Like Wolverine over here.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, very grateful, very grateful.
Yeah. Were there nights that you were waking up screaming from nightmares?
Um, I don't think I screamed, but I never slept for a long time. That's why I went to the psychiatrist. I couldn't sleep at all. Even when I was sleeping, it always felt like I was half awake, hearing every noise. I
Hmm.
would wake up, how do you say sursauter in English? Like startled?
Yeah,
Is that
so
the word?
yeah.
Startled. I would wake up startled in the middle of the night with my heart beating. Like I would have night sweats, nightmares, flashbacks. Even during the day, wide awake, I would have flashbacks and like see things, like see like that moment I saw the shadows coming towards me, or like flashback of my dad's lip being busted open because I've never seen anything like this in my life.
How are you doing now?
I'm so much, so much, so much better. Um, it was not a long time ago, it was 2 years ago. I did a lot of healing in 2021. That's when I went to the psychiatrist. He gave me a prescription to help me sleep,
Hmm.
and then a prescription for the day, and then vitamin D3 for my depression. Um, well, I don't know if it was for my depression. It was a combination of medication to help with my general mental state of like PTSD and depression.
Hmm.
And it really helped me because before I couldn't sleep at all. I hadn't slept in months. And it was the first time that I was actually sleeping. The medication was knocking me out like black nights. But I wanted to be able to sleep without the medication. So when I think the last time that my prescription finished, I didn't renew it. I just wanted to learn to sleep by myself.
Hmm.
So that was really hard at first. But now I'm at a place where I can sleep. I don't have to think about it too much, you know?
I'm
That's
happy for you.
nice. Yeah, and I'm not taking medication anymore. I still have depressive episodes, but I can deal with it. Like, I know how to handle myself, I guess.
Hmm.
I talk to myself a lot, not
Yeah.
in a crazy person type of way. But I mean, no, crazy people are the ones who don't talk to themselves because
Hmm.
then you're not self-aware, right?
Yeah, depression is a curse and a gift for creatives.
Yeah, yes, exactly that
Mm.
part. That's how I live life.
Right? Like that's why you do your a stitch at a time. Do you create though when you're depressed, or do you stop everything?
Depends. It's really, really different. That's the thing. It's not the same every time. And that's why sometimes it's harder for me to recognize when I'm getting depressed.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I wonder, am I just on my period? Or am I hungry? Am I tired? Or am I depressed?
Hmm.
Sometimes I get depressed in a mode where I only want to crochet. I want to sit in my room and I don't want anybody to talk to me. And I just want to watch TV shows and crochet all day and all night. And I don't want to sleep and I don't want to eat and I don't want to shower. So I'm creating a lot, but it's very antisocial and
Mm-hmm.
um, I guess I close off on myself. But sometimes I get depressed where I can't even crochet. There's like no will to do anything.
Mm.
And I just want to lay in my bed and be like, part of the bed, an extension of the bed.
I completely understand that, man.
Yeah.
What's your creative process? Does it comes to you, or do you sit down and start? You know what? I'm going to make this piece today.
Both. It depends on what I'm creating. So if I'm making a custom order for someone, that's like one of my favorite things to do because I like to talk to the person,
Hmm.
get to know them a little bit, figure out what colors they like, what clothing they like, what style they like, what they're comfortable in, what's your insecurity, what's the thing you're the most proud of, what you like to show off in your body. And then I'll make something that's like very specific to that. With
Hmm.
all this information, I have my little notebook. It's written super great ideas on top of it. And I'll write down like the color schemes you like, the shape of clothing you like, the things you like to wear, the things you want to hide, everything that's relevant. And then I'll just kind of sit there and zone out for a minute because I'm visualizing different ways that I could, I guess, create it. Sometimes I'll even draw it if I have a hard time seeing it too clearly in my head. But most of the time, I draw for other people to see because when I explain my vision, it's very in my head. But even when I draw it, it's not always exactly the way. It's always better in real life. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, they wouldn't be able to really see your vision. You're the artist,
yeah,
you
that's
know?
true. Sometimes I wish I could project my brain onto a screen and be
No,
like,
we're
this is what
good.
I see. But
Yeah.
the other way, I guess, my other creative process is sometimes I'm just in the metro and I just really want something. I'm like, I really want to make a dress that looks like this, and then I see it in my head. But most of my creative process is trial and error in my head first. Like I'll visualize how it is. I'll visualize if I'm making it, the stitches, the count. If I do this, it's gonna look like that. So if I don't want it to look like that, I have to do this instead. And I do all of this in my brain first,
Mm.
and then I kind of just pick up the yarn and the hook and I start crocheting, and
Mm.
it happens. So
Wow.
often, well, it happened a few times that my sister was like, "Oh my God, how did you think of this?" Or "How did you do this the first time?" And I was like, "I didn't do this the first time. I did it so many times in my head before. It's
Oh,
just the
that's
first time I'm doing
amazing.
it in real life, you know?"
That's beautiful, man. I love that, like visualization.
Yeah.
Because I
Right.
do that when I play basketball. Before I play basketball, I run plays in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when it happens, you're ready to go. And I think
Yeah.
there was a study about visualization that there's it's more powerful to actually visualize the act other than actually doing it.
Really.
Yeah, I forgot the
That's
study,
crazy.
but yeah, I've heard of this before.
I mean, I believe that because that's how I work. I visualize a lot. Like, I'll just sit here, close my eyes sometimes when I really need to focus, and I'm like, how do I do this?
How long does it take to make a piece? Let's say I don't know a top, basic top. How long does it take?
Okay, a basic top, like 2 hours maybe, depending on the top. A big piece or like a more complex top could take 2 weeks or a month. It really, really depends on what I'm making.
I like that
Um,
black and white piece that you made, the dress.
ooh,
Ooh,
it's
that's
one of my
beautiful.
favorites.
Oh
That's
my
definitely
god,
my favorite black dress.
that's classy.
Thank you. I love it. That's what I was going for. That one took me 2 weeks to make.
2 weeks for that? I'll be like 100 years for me.
Yeah, it took me 2 weeks. And keep in mind that I do work and go to school. So it was like 2 weeks of my free time. But also, I'm addicted. Like every minute I get, I will crochet. But for that dress, I had no idea what I was doing. I just know that I wanted to do a black and white photo shoot. The photographer had approached me, Kiros Images, that's his page. And he's really, really, really great. He's from Toronto. And he had approached me about doing a black and white photo shoot, and I was super, super down. So I wanted to make something in black and white. I had no idea what I was gonna make. I got the yarn and I just started making it, and the rest is history, I guess. But
Yeah, I also like that orange one, the one with the mask.
hmm
That's a
thank
little bit
you.
freaky but
Yeah,
cool,
it's weird.
weird.
Definitely one of the weirder ones. I love weird things. The idea behind that was kind of like a jailbreak outfit, you
Okay.
know? So the concept of like the photo shoot I did with this was free your mind, free your life. And it's kind of like a jailbird outfit. It's like a sexy getting out of jail, coming for everybody type of piece. I don't even know where a person would wear it to. I had 0% that in mind as I was making it. I was just making it, you know?
Yeah, I
And
understand.
it's definitely one of the pieces that people like the most, I would
Yeah,
say.
because it's weird and freaky. I love it.
Yeah.
Very revealing, by the way.
Uh-huh. Very true. It's and I had an expo and a model wore it and she told me she thought she would feel more naked in it. But because there's so much coverage, well, it's big holes, but it covers your whole body. So it gives the feeling that you're covered, even though when you look at it, you're very much naked-ish, you know?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's like revealing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love the color. I love the shape of it. And again, the mask is just freaky, but it's
Yeah.
nice. You know,
Yeah.
like it'll be
I want
perfect
to
for like
make,
a music video.
yeah, for sure. I want to make more masks because I love the masks. Mhm.
When you make a piece for like customized or whatever, is it more expensive to make for plus sizes?
It takes more yarn and also more time. So I guess in a way it would be more expensive, but I don't charge a lot more for plus sizes because I it feels unfair to me that like you have to pay more for clothing, but at the same time, it is more work and more yarn. So I really go case by case depending on what I'm making. Like on my website, you'll see that some of the pieces, when you change the size, the price doesn't change. It's the same. But
Okay.
some other pieces, like big things, it has to be more expensive because I'm the one making it with my hands. Yeah.
I asked that because I had a guest and she owns a company that sells, yeah, I guess like yoga pants, exercise pants. And she
Hmm.
said, like, if we make plus sizes pants, we have to charge more
Yeah.
because there's more
It is more
material.
expensive. It's more material, more work for sure.
Yeah. Where do you get your ideas, your crazy mind, your beautiful crazy mind?
That's, I don't know. It's really just random. It depends everywhere. I get my ideas everywhere. Like I will wear something and then wish it was different and then think I can make that and crochet. I'll see an outfit at the mall and I'll think this is so basic. I can make that and crochet so much better. Or sometimes I just look for something else to crochet. So I'm sitting in the metro, like I just finished my project, my life is over. What am I gonna do now? Well, that doesn't happen anymore because now I always have orders. But before, when I was just creating and starting, I had a lot of moments where I'm like, what do I do? I finished my project. And so I would browse through my brain and just try things. What if I do something like this? Sometimes I see the yarn first. It's happened that I go shopping and then I see a yarn. This yarn could do this. So, yeah.
When you're making a piece,
Hmm.
do you listen to music or do you just sit quietly?
Oh, I watch TV shows. I am a huge TV show addict. I have seen everything. If you know something that I haven't seen, please refer me because I will binge watch it in 2 days while crocheting. I am running out of things to watch. I've seen The Office like 10 times by now.
Have you seen The Wire?
No, actually, what is it about? What is it
Well,
about?
it's about Baltimore and it's about the police and they show the relationship with the streets and the drug addicts and then the connection to politician. It's one of the greatest show of all time
Really?
because it's well written. It
Mm.
was so
What is it on?
it was HBO. I'm sure it's still on HBO.
So is HBO on Amazon Prime? I don't know. I'll look it up.
HBO
The
is
Wire.
HBO. Yeah, The Wire.
Oh, okay.
So it was so accurate that the city of Baltimore had to file a lawsuit against the writers
Hmm.
to stop it because it
No
was so
way.
accurate. Yeah, because they feel like, oh, you're putting our city into a bad light, but it was accurate.
Oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
I am gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's one of the great. It's like I love the show, and most of the actors are actually gangsters, like real life
Oh,
gangsters. Yeah,
hmm.
so
So it's very real.
yeah, very real, very real. It's one of those like how now it's like black shows. They were
Hmm.
the show. Like majority of the lead actors were people of color.
Hmm.
So they're like way ahead than now the shows that are being pander towards like people of color.
Okay,
That's
it's
one
an
of the
old
best.
show.
Yeah, it's an old show. It's I believe it's 2000s.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Is there a lot of seasons?
Yeah, I believe
Okay,
it's
good.
5 seasons.
All right, that's good enough. I don't like watching shows that has like 1 or 2 seasons because I'll watch it too fast and then I'm back to square one.
But you have to savor it.
No, I have to binge watch it while I crochet. It's background noise. Not background because I pay attention, but
Yeah, I get it. But
sometimes I crochet outside too.
yeah,
Then
I
I
was gonna
just
ask you,
sit.
do you bring your piece to like let's say you're going to school or you're going to work while you're in the metro?
Depends on what I'm making. Smaller pieces that I can keep in a plastic bag. Um, I have these recyclable, well-scented plastic bags. Um, well, maybe the material's not plastic. Well, it feels like plastic. I don't know. Anyways, these bags that I put the things that I crochet in when they're small enough to be taken outside because I don't want to, even though I'm gonna wash it, I don't want to the yarn to like be everywhere, you know? So if it can fit in the bag and then I can bring it. But if it's a big piece, I won't bring it. Or if it's like white, then I don't want it to
You
risk
can
it,
do.
it getting
Yeah.
stained.
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm making. But if I can, I'll crochet everywhere. I crochet in the metro. I go to the park. I sit outside. I crochet. Crochet at work on my break.
That's funny. I want to ask you. Do you think creativity involves your heart and soul into your work, or is it more letting your mind flow freely to witness the surprising results of your actions?
I feel like it's a little bit of both because I definitely let my mind flow. I need both because my heart is where the general ideas come from, the
Hmm.
color pattern. Even when I'm creating for somebody else, it comes from my heart wanting to make something specific to that person that they're gonna love
Mhm.
to create that source of joy in them and that feeling of comfort and like I look good in this. So that's definitely the creative side is from my heart, but getting the concept and making it come to life is definitely where I think it's letting my brain flow and like my ideas and like my um how do I say this? Because I count a lot in my head when I'm
Hmm.
crocheting.
Hmm.
I visualize like if I do 10 stitches and I want it to be this length and it's this and then I have to get my calculator out and multiply it. So that's why I say it's both
Mm.
brain and heart.
Beautiful. Have you ever been faced with negative feedback?
For sure. It hasn't really stuck with me enough for me to remember and tell you about it because I guess in a way I'm stubborn. I'm very fixed on my idea, what I want to create, what I love, and what I want to put out there. So sometimes people will tell me things, and I'm like, that's your opinion. Good for you. I'ma still do me. And I don't get mad or take it personally, and I hope they don't get mad or take it personally that I'm not changing my ways for their opinion or their advice.
But do you ever sometimes think of it? Maybe they're right. Maybe I should, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Like I got a lot of feedback about not having more masculine clothing, and I I understand because people who wear masculine looking clothing or like people who identify as men and stuff want to feel like they have a choice everywhere and that they can wear something and crochet. So I definitely have some ideas of things that I can make for, I guess, men, you could say, but I haven't gotten there yet because creating things for feminine energy comes more naturally to me because I have very feminine energy. So that's kind of my vision. I like making people feel very like sexy and comfortable, but masculine energy can be sexy too. So I'm working on that.
Hmm. It's hard to be a business owner. What keeps you going?
I have a long-term goal. Like I project myself so far into the future that I feel like now is just baby steps, building the base. So whenever there's an obstacle or something, I don't let it stop me because I know I'm going so much further that I'm just gonna walk around it. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
even when there's an obstacle in front of me, I can still see my end goal. So I'm not gonna be like, I'm just gonna sit here because it's hard. I'm gonna be like, I need to go where I'm going.
It's almost like
I have a,
what is a blind confidence.
yeah, it is. And sometimes I wonder, like, am I crazy? What are you doing? I'm
Well,
like putting my all into what I want to
well, you are
achieve. But
crazy, but you have to be crazy to reach that dream,
yeah, true, true,
right?
true.
Or else,
Craziness is the gift.
yeah, but definitely. Have you thought of creating a class to teach what you do?
Yes. I actually made a post on Instagram about looking for people who want to learn to crochet because I would love to meet people who are just beginning who I could give some knowledge to, and then eventually, if they're into it, have them crochet with me because it's starting to be a lot of orders to the point that I can't make it all by myself.
Wow,
So it kind of slows down the
congratulations.
process. Oh, thank you. But it kind of slows down the process and it leaves me less space for my creative projects. Well, it's creative when I'm making custom orders, but it's not the same as when I'm doing something just completely for me because I want to out of my brain, which is how it started at first. And that's what got people interested in getting custom orders. So I would love to have, again, more time to create freely. and have other people recreate the things I've already, you know?
Yeah. But you're still working full time.
Yeah.
Do you see a future of
I,
you just doing crochet full time?
yes, we're getting there. I am getting to the point where I'm wondering if I should take less hours at my job because if I have the option between working at the shelter full time and doing crochet full time, I always want to crochet full time all the time, every day. The only thing stopping me is arthritis. But honestly, I would crochet forever. So that's what I'm leaning towards right now. Probably in the summer, I'll see if I can get myself more crochet hours. But already I work 4 days a week and then I have 3 days off. So in those 3 days off is when I crochet.
Crochet, 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 crochet. Do you do other things though? That is
Like
fun.
other art.
No, not necessarily. Like, do you? I don't know.
Well,
Hobbies.
yeah, yeah. I guess all my hobbies are art, but I paint. Wait,
Let me see
sense
the
you
paint.
can see. Let
Let
me
me
show
see.
you.
That's beautiful. I love the colors.
Thank
I
you.
love the lines. I love the eyes.
It's like
Freaky.
two different separate canvases so that
Mm,
you can place them. But it's
very
not done.
creative.
And then
Mm.
I made this also. That's
Oh, I like that
me.
one. That's cool. Is that joint?
Thank you. Yes.
Is that
Shh, don't
you?
tell my mom. It's not me in real life. It's a painting.
I love it. It's
This
beautiful.
is the other one that I made. It's on my
Okay, I like
wall.
that one too. Very calming.
Yeah. But when I lived with the roommates before,
Mm.
I was gonna put it in the living room, and my one of my roommates was like, this feels so sad to me. Like it makes me really sad." And I was
I
like,
see the
"This
blue
is
because of
very
the blue.
calming and relaxing."
Because of the blue, she's probably reflecting that says, okay, it's blue means sad.
Uh,
Plus it's sunset, right?
yeah,
So it means
true.
the
Blues,
ending.
or maybe it's sunrise.
Yeah, it looks like sunset to
No,
me.
it's sunset. Can't be sunrise, but
You
blue's
know,
my happy color though.
hey, your hair is blue right now.
Yeah, it is.
You
It's
know.
the color of the ocean. I have different shades of blue. That's literally what I asked Lydia for. That's who did my hair. And I said, "Can I have the ocean?" And she's the greatest. She did not
Just
manage my
for
hair
you.
one bit.
This is one of my favorite questions to black girls. Their
Hmm.
relationship with their hair. It seems like you have good relationship with your hair.
I do. I love my hair. It's definitely a big part of the expression of my identity. When I was younger, I went through that phase of having straight hair, of course. Like at my first communion, that was the first time that we straightened my hair with a very hot flat iron. Oh my God. And it was the first time I had straight hair and it was great and I loved it. And when I was a teenager, I was straighten my hair on and off. Um, and I really burned my hair. Like my hair was straight. It was super short because it was always breaking, super fragile. And then I cut it and then let it grow. I had a super short haircut. Um, and I let it grow and I've had my afro. Well, I had my afro ever since. Like I never really straightened my hair for a long time after that because every time I would flat iron it, it would burn and then I would have to cut it and start over. So at some point, I just stopped and I rocked my afro for a few years, but I always wanted locks. And I locked my hair. And to me, this feels like the natural state of my hair when it's locked more than when it's an afro because it's still styled. I'm still combing it out, putting all this gel and like, you know,
I
it took
saw
hours.
one of your posts that says the end of my Afro era. Is that when
Yeah,
you
I got
transitioned
my
to?
locks. Exactly. That's when it was June 16 last year.
And
So
you're
it's
never
gonna
gonna go
June
back to
15.
Afro.
Never. I will. No, the locks are staying
They're
forever.
beautiful. I like it. Actually,
Thank
when I
you.
was watching your story yesterday, and she colored your hair blonde or bleached,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's cool too. But then you color it to blue. I'm like, yo, that's better. I like that one better.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny that you say that because a lot of people said the opposite. They were like, "Oh my God, you were blonde, and I love the blonde. You should have stayed blonde a little bit." I love the blonde too, but I wanted to
Yeah, color is better.
color is so much better.
You know. Listen, we're getting there. I think we're there actually.
Yeah.
Before we close out, you kind of
Mm-hmm.
mentioned this, but I want to close it with this question. What do you wish to accomplish with ASAAT?
Huh. I have so many plans. I could not begin to explain. So I will say this very dramatic sentence, world domination. I want to bring crochet everywhere, like a new era of crochet. I'm seeing a lot of like crochet artists online doing kind of like modern things. That's what I love, love, love. So definitely I want to bring that worldwide. Meet more people who crochet, create a community for crochet. Eliminate fast fashion. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I like that. Yeah. Fast fashion's terrible.
Yeah, isn't it? Plus, it all gets dumped after and burnt down, like polluting our earth. Stop it, people.
Yeah. Anyways, Victoria, thank you
It
so
was a
much for coming on the
pleasure.
podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was really, really fun.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye. Again, Victoria, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for listening. This is Aaron Deliosa for An Immigrant's Life. I'll see you guys later.